To 9/11 and the long-awaited release of documents many victims' families have been waiting for years. The heavily redacted report from the FBI points to contacts between Saudis in the U.S. and hijackers, but it did not connect Saudi government officials with involvement in the attacks. Will that be enough for the families who have been calling for more answers? We'll ask Terry Strada. She lost her husband in the attacks on the World Trade Center and is a member of 9/11 Families United. Terry, it's good to see you again. Thanks for coming back and joining us. I know you fought hard to see these documents. What did you think about the first report released?
I'm pleased with what we're seeing so far. These 8 individuals, these Saudi government employees, were directly involved with al-Qaeda operatives. These 8 Saudi government officials had extremist views, and they were connected with al-Qaeda, and they were connected with the hijackers. They were all part of the Ministry of Islamic Affairs within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which is an arm of the Saudi Arabian government. The heavily redacted report you're referring to is not quite as heavily redacted as it looks, because a lot of that is just under protective order. So it isn't that our representatives haven't seen it. They can. It's just that the public can't. And that's a big problem with this protective order that the Saudis have insisted,
Right.
Right. So, there are connections here, that the support network that was put in place by Saudi government officials.
Have you had any response at all from the government now that this has been released? I know you've, again, worked so hard to see this, and there's more to come, right? Have you gotten any response on what we've seen so far?
To me personally, no. I understand that, some of these redactions were mistakenly redacted as well. So I don't know if it was sloppy work on the behalf of the DOJ or the White House where it was falling through the cracks, but some of the redactions will become public. And some of these blocks that we're seeing there were probably also did not follow the executive order. So we're going to see more within this report, but then there is a lot more information. There were 14,000 pages to Operation Encore. From what I do understand, what I have been told is they've gone through about 10,000 of them, putting them through this declassification review. So there's going to be a lot more evidence, but it was really shocking to see at least 8 Saudi government employees were affiliated with al-Qaeda and the hijackers through all of these telephone records that we're seeing in all of these communications.
Well, that's a lot more documents to release, counting the 16 that we've seen, 16 pages anyway today. Before we let you go, Terry, I wanted to get you on the al-Qaeda leader, Ayman al-Zawahiri, who appeared in this video that was released on 9/11. Just your response to that video being released.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying to think that al-Qaeda is back on the rise, and they will go back to their coffers, and they will go right back to the kingdom to get their financing and their support. And that is why it is, more important than ever to get as much as we can release, and then to get really hard on terrorism financing and hold the kingdom accountable and have very strict terrorism financing laws, policies enacted, punishments, consequences. We need to shut down this pipeline of money. That's a way to choke off al-Qaeda, just choke off their money.
Terry Strada, 9/11 Families United member. I know we spoke a couple of weeks ago, and I was certainly thinking of you, remembering that interview and all of the other family members on Saturday, 9/11, as we mark 20 years. Terry Strada, again, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
If Democrats have their way, we could